Hello, parents. This is Chris Allen. I'm your son or daughter's calculus teacher, and I wanted to give you an update for this week, the week of October 19th. This week, we are looking at something called related rates. Related rates are a nice application of differentiation, which is what we've been working on here in Chapter 2. So this is kind of the section where students get to see why or how the calculus could be used in some real-life applications. So here's the scenario, and this is one of the things that makes it really tough is that these are story problems. So students typically struggle with those kinds of things. A person walks along a straight path at a speed of 4 feet per second, and a searchlight is located on the ground 20 feet from the path and is focused on the person. So here's a picture of what that might look like. So you can see the spotlight down there at the bottom, and you can see the person walking along the path. And the question is, at what rate is the searchlight rotating when the person is 15 feet from the path closest to the searchlight? So in other words, when that X is 15. So the first thing students need to do is they need to figure out what the equation is. Now I'm telling you what it is right here, but this isn't given in the problem. They need to figure that they need to use the tangent equation here, the tangent function, the tangent ratio, because we're given the 20 and we're also given that X is 15 in this problem, but I'm leaving it as X for right now. So that's opposite over adjacent. So they write this equation. I'm going to multiply both sides by 20, and then after they have their equation, they need to do the derivative of both sides with respect to time, and that's why this is called a related rate. These questions involve rates, which typically involve time. So we're going to do the derivative with respect to t. So the derivative of tangent is secant squared, and then the derivative of x is 1, but you'll notice that on both sides of this equation, we have d theta dt and dx dt, and that's that implicit differentiation piece that we looked at right before fall break. Now, it should be noted that in this problem, cosine of theta is going to be 4/5, and I would encourage your son or daughter to understand or explain to you why that is 4/5, and if they can't, they probably need to ask me a question about that. And they also should know that the dx dt is 4 feet per second, and that's given in the class or in the question. So now we can just plug this information in and get our final answer here of 0.128 radians per second. That's the rate at which the spotlight is rotating. So final thoughts. So this week marks the beginning of the second 9 weeks. So that's kind of a nice break after fall break, and now we're right into the second 9 weeks. I would encourage your son or daughter, if they did well the first 9 weeks and they're happy with their grade, to keep doing what they're doing and keep working hard. If they didn't do as well as they'd like, I'd encourage them to reflect on what they could do differently. I'm just going to be honest with you. I do not have very many students that request to come in and spend time with me during advisory or come in after school for help. And that goes for virtual students as well. I don't have a lot of students that are attending those sessions, and I think that's a resource that they're missing out on. We also have a new bell schedule. I will include that in the message here. There'll be a link below the video. And that affects obviously the hybrid learners, but the virtual learners need to be aware of those bell schedules as well, because that's when they'll be taking assessments. I sent them all an email, virtual students, an email with regard to that today. And finally, discipline. I'm a big believer that some of my best students in general are students that obviously have ability, but more importantly have the discipline to make sure that they get things done. And they're not just getting them done to get them done. They get them done, and then they study, and then they make sure they understand. They have the discipline. They know I've got to put in the work and the effort to make sure I'm learning what I need to learn. So thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great day.